Good day, everyone, and welcome to this discussion that we're going to be having. Because, the effects of the coronavirus, COVID-19, have affected everyone in the world, and people are running around trying to get solutions to this problem that was unanticipated. So, one of the most badly hit industries is obviously education. Kids that are in their final year, whether it's grade 7, matric, A level, O level, depending on where you are affected. Their academic year has been affected greatly by this disturbance, the lockdowns that we have all over the world. So it means that we have to make sure that there's continuity, just like the businesses are making sure that there's business continuity uh, at the time of lockdown. Obviously, uh, lockdown is going to end, but the time lost during lockdown can never be recovered. That's one thing for sure. So it's important that as society, we think about life after COVID, because right now, the problem is that a lot of people are focused solely on surviving the virus, of which it's understandable because this virus is ravaging people's lives. It's causing mayhem wherever it has appeared. But at the same time, we ought to think about what is life going to be after this whole thing is finished, after we found a vaccine or a cure or whatever it is that's going to stop the spread of this disease. So we have to think short term and long term simultaneously, and we don't even know what the new normal is going to look like, but we have to somehow have scenarios. Do scenario planning and come up with plausible outcomes that we can plan for. And specifically for the continent of Africa, we have to take this as an opportunity for us to leapfrog, literally. The leapfrogging that everybody has been talking about. This is an opportunity because now, by circumstance, we are forced to be working remotely from home. We're forced to adopt technologies that we might have taken us 5 years or 10 years from now to actually adopt, but because of circumstance, we have to use the technology. So my point is, before COVID-19, we were on a very slow trajectory. We were on a path, but we were very slow in adopting technology. Adopting technology, not necessarily from making apps or over the top applications, but more from an infrastructure perspective to say, how do we as Africans actually position ourselves such that we own the means of production? The means of production mean that we own the technology infrastructure such that our banks across Africa will be using core banking systems developed by Africans. Our big industry will be using manufacturing software that has been created by Africans. But so far, right now, we have tended to be more inclined to be consumers or the actual product, right? It's either we're the consumer or we're the actual product. So I'll take social media, for example. With social media, we are the product because you find that we are the producers of the information that's on Facebook, that's on YouTube, that's on LinkedIn, Twitter. We are the producers and we are also the consumers. So that means that these platforms have gamed the situation, the circumstances in such a way that we produce information for them, we consume the information, and they make the money, right? And then we look at, and obviously we can come up with apps on top of Facebook, on top of or next to Facebook using APIs and stuff like that. But the core structures are still not ours, right? Or we just become just mere consumers where every car part you find it's being imported from somewhere else. We just do assembling at best, yeah. Otherwise, we don't even have a proudly South African car. You know what I mean? So now we need to make sure that we transform education in such a way that it represents the aspirations of the African continent, where we actually have an African dream that drives us to determine where we want to be in the global value chain. That is, do we just want to be consumers or the product, or we actually want to be the originators of technology, the innovators, such that other continents, other markets will be consuming our goods as well. So it's important that we think long term. And we have been thinking about education to say, how can we ensure that all kids across the whole of Africa are supported, whether they are in school or out of school, whether they have someone who can help them in the house or not? Why can't we leverage technology to actually solve this complex problem whereby we have to make sure that every child is supported? So, I mean, there are so many ideas that have popped up. There are so many promising initiatives that are coming up across the continent. But it's important that we as people come up with a scalable African solution that we can rally behind. I mean, you take, for example, the African Development Bank or one of these, even the AU, teaming up together and coming up with a unified thing that will be adopted by all governments, and everybody puts impetus onto the success of this platform. So it's important. But the problem now is that we are having piecemeal innovations where I am doing my little thing in my own little corner, the other one is doing, but there's no systematic innovation management that is happening across the continent of Africa. So that is something that we have to actually be deliberate about and come up with solutions that ensure that every child on the continent is supported and has support. So today, I am joined by Mr. Joshua Mwanza, who is from Apex Focus Tuition Center that is in Johannesburg, South Africa. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you saying?
I'm all right. So yeah, tell me, in terms of Apex Focus Tuition Center, what do you guys do there?
Yes, Apex Focus Tuition Center is a private tuition center specializing in offering tuition service to students from primary up to tertiary level. So our focus is to assist or offer assistance to every student who would want especially extra lessons in any subject.
In any subject. Wow. Okay, so I mean, the fact that there's COVID-19, there's coronavirus, it means that the need for tutors has risen suddenly because kids are out of school, right? But obviously now you won't be meeting face to face; it will be through technological platforms. How are you dealing with in terms of ensuring that you service your customers, and you can even expand your customer base so that you can even service people in Brazil or people in Ghana or Chad? How are you making sure that you assist the African child prosper?
Yes, that's a good and brilliant question. So the COVID-19 has been a problem or a challenge to many students or to the realm of education. So that's the need for online service. So you see that we have to be on the online platform, maybe to make it simple through Skype and Zoom, cloud meetings, etc. As we cannot be physically meeting, so of course they need to go online.
Is it? Okay, so your students, do they have access to these platforms like Zoom, Skype? Are they able to log in? I know there's always the data must fall campaigns. Do they have the data to be streaming live? Or yeah, how is that? How are you experiencing that?
Yes, so on that, basically students should use their data to go online.
Yeah.
So I think it's a challenge to some of the students because data, as you know, data charges are quite expensive, not so affordable to the vast number of students in South Africa. But maybe to those with Wi-Fi, I've been chatting with other parents. They've got Wi-Fi in their homes. Life is very simple for them. But to those without Wi-Fi, it's quite challenging because the data is very expensive.
Is it? Okay, so given those problems now, what can we do to ensure that every child has support wherever they are, such that they don't lose contact time, they don't lose learning time? What can you suggest?
Yes, I think there should be interventions from government to start off so that they can offer maybe academic bundles in the form of data. So it will be a sort of a subset. And maybe also to, on top of that, from private organizations or any organization to offer platforms, online platforms, which can run with sort of answer and question banks.
Yeah.
You see, whereby students can rightly log in and search for their questions or specific problem areas and attempt and even get instant answers when they have given their options. I think just to mention a few, those are some of the things we can do to assist these students.
Is it? Okay. So so I saw, I mean, when we were chatting before the the presentation, you mentioned that you have people across South Africa. Can
Yes.
you scale beyond South Africa so that at least you service the whole of Africa in terms of where you are right now, in terms of getting that capacity in terms of people?
Yes, it's very possible because you know the online or internet platform in general, you can get in contact with anyone from every part of the world. So
Right.
if there's a student from Brazil, America, China, mention it from any part of the world, we can get in contact and offer tuition service. So there is no any barrier when we are coming to the issue of the online platform.
Right. So if people want to, I mean, there's some people that are watching that are excited about what you're saying. If they want to get in touch with you or see what you offer, what website or app can they go to such that they can get more information about Apex Focus Tuition Centers?
Yes, they can log on to the website link that is https://apexfocus.academy, and they can get in touch with me so that we can organize online tuition service in the form of Skype, preferably Zoom, as it can offer virtual classroom lesson experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. All right, Mr. Joshua. Thank you very much for your time. I mean, it's a hectic time because I think everyone is receiving so many Zooms, so many MS Teams, so many of these webinars. So
yes.
I need to call you for one again. I think I appreciate it for making time. So people can reach you at apexfocus.academy, right? All right.
Yes.
So thank you very much, and we'll keep in touch. And please find solutions for education in Africa for the students. Thank you.
Yes, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.